Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be going over 1805 Tonnerre by Beaufort. I guess you could also call it Beaufort depending on where you're from, regional dialect, but semantics, folks. Anyways, they're an innovative house and they do a lot of historical thematic fragrances based off of times and places and battles. One of their larger groups is kind of nautical themed, but it's not like overtly marine. It's kind of the whole British shipping and wartime and maritime efforts, places, and things. Just really esoteric, hard to describe things. Like one of them is like a writing desk inside of a ship. This particular one, 1805 Tonnerre, is based off of the Battle of Trafalgar, where Lord Nelson was, and I guess he was, commandeering the British fleet. I'm kind of a history buff, so I think the whole line is very interesting. I'll get to let me just read the notes before I forget what they are because it's strange stuff. It's smoke, gunpowder, lime, seawater. There's a blood accord, amber, cedar, pine or fir balsam, and some rum. So this is supposed to encompass the entire battle. So the things happening, the location, everything. When you first spray it on, I've worn it for a day already. I'm not going to spray it on again right now because it's quite loud and it's something, you have to be in the mood for. But it's an incredibly sharp lime. The sharpest lime I've ever smelled. It's practically lime juice. It's not light. It's not airy and pleasant and fresh. It is just sharp, in-your-face lime. And I get where they were going for. It was, sailors drinking the lime juice to ward off scurvy. So it really feels like you're taking a lime shot. Like if you've taken a tequila shot and chased it with the lime, it's like that. It's just a shot of lime, very strong, very sharp. That's the most apparent note in there. Followed by the gunpowder and the smoke, and they're kind of one and the same. It's kind of hard to tell them apart. I'm someone who's shot a lot of firearms in my life, and I, understand what gunpowder and things smell like. The smoke gunpowder accord in here kind of smells like a spent cartridge, like an old cartridge that you just pick up off the ground after a day of shooting, and you just kind of smell it. It's not a fresh smoking barrel, and it's not just a fresh, expended cartridge bullet from a gun. I don't know how familiar you guys are with the terminology. So it's something that's been sitting for a while, so it's not like a fresh cannon shot going off, which I kind of wanted. I kind of wanted like a poof of black powder gun smoke going off, and I just wanted that poof of it. That's what I wanted. You don't get it, but it's still very interesting. I like a gunpowder accord, and there's something very pleasant and masculine about it. However, to my nose, it's not going to be pleasant to everybody. Also, the seawater, there is a marine accord. It's not very salty. It's kind of just the wind gusting, a very gusty marine, windy marine. So it's not just like raunchy, raw seawater. And I get that makes sense. It's the sea breeze, the air blowing through the sails, moving the ships along. The blood accord, I don't know if I really picked up a blood accord. I'll tell you what, the closest thing I have or have smelled to this would be Zoologist T-Rex. It's that just very smoky poof and just these really nose-piercing, just very piercing things. It smells a lot like T-Rex, but it doesn't smell like the burning bodies part of it. It smells like the smokiness. And maybe in a way kind of the meatiness, maybe, but it's not just meat like T-Rex, not leathery meat. Also, there's a little bit of rum that comes out. It's not a whole lot. It comes out later. It's not rummy. This is not boozy. It's just a little sweetener. You get the wood, the cedar, the pine, balsam. Sorry, I had to readjust. And I get that because it's kind of, what the ship is made out of. And the birch tar isn't listed, but birch tar is in a lot of other Beaufort fragrances, and so I kind of picked that up there. I have a feeling, this is the only one I've smelled, I have a feeling they're going to kind of have this similar consistent DNA. They just seem like a house that has a DNA. And I get that it's the birch tar that you put between the cracks and the planks the ship is waterproofing. Overall, it's really interesting, and something else I picked up in here, and some of you are going to laugh at this, and some of you aren't even going to believe me. T-Rex is the closest thing I can smell to it, but I absolutely pick up Millesime Imperial in this. Creed Millesime Imperial. This is actually how I describe it to someone who's never smelled it is the hybrid of T-Rex and Creed Millesime Imperial. It doesn't sound too appetizing, but the sharp lime and that kind of saltiness, it immediately clicked as Millesime Imperial to my nose. I'm like, I've smelled this before. Where have I smelled this? Creed Millesime Imperial. But none of the melony fruitiness, and none of the mellower citrus stuff. It's like that lime, that saltiness, but nothing too strong. Creed Millesime Imperial was actually a little saltier than this. This is marine. I wouldn't call it salty. So I recommend it to someone who's looking for a smoky fragrance. It's artistic. This is not something just wearable. You could wear this. You could wear anything. But this is not something you get compliments on. This is going to be something that someone says, like, why do you smell like that? Why do you smell like limes and gunpowder? But, you know, it's cool and it's different, and it will definitely leave an impression. Let me just smell it again. Ooh, yeah, that lime is sharp. Yeah, that wasn't an exaggerated reaction. That was actually pretty real. Like, it's very, when you put your nose really up to it, it's quite powerful. Would I buy this? No. Would I recommend this for someone to sample that's really interested in history, wants something thematic? Absolutely. If you like T-Rex, definitely try this. This is right down your alley. If you like T-Rex and you're like, oh yeah, smoky craziness, definitely for you. I want to try more of this line because I'm into that history stuff. I think what's going to happen is I'm going to sample the entire line and enjoy it, but not buy anything. That's my prediction. But I still want to anyway. And they have such interesting names, beautiful bottles, really interesting, creative inspirations about the ship. So it's not just the played out, oh, we're on a yacht in the Mediterranean and sipping a martini. No, this is like a dark core corner of the ship. So very interesting. And there's one that came out called like Terror and Magnificence, and you know, with the cathedral on the bottle. Oh, it looks super cool. Super cool. I know it's not wearable. I know it's not, but it's super cool. I gotta try it. So I enjoyed this. I enjoyed smelling it. My ride with this ends with this sample. But for you history buffs, this could be a line for you history buffs to really, you know, immerse yourself in the thematic fragrances. I'm looking forward to trying more of these, but we're not moving past these little samples, probably. Anyways, until next time, guys.